The remorseful man requested early termination of his probation, prompting the judge to ensure that he had genuinely learned his lesson.
Judge, the defendant has been on deferred adjudication for a little over 4 years. I think that he's been a good model probationer.
What have you learned from being on probation?
Well, the severity of my actions resulted in the injury of a close friend of mine. Additionally, it damaged my relationship with members of my family and my community as well. The actions that I undertook were as a result of substance use as well, which was affecting my judgment. And every moment since then, I have taken that into consideration in my day. And my commitment, regardless of my circumstance, is and remains to conduct myself with integrity with regards to my personal choices and to avoid substances and discipline, as well as gratitude.
The court will grant the motion. Court is calling 2020 CR 1544, State of Texas versus Alexander Bryant Streeter. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Judith Wimmert.
And are you Mr. Streeter?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, this is a request for early termination by the defense. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. We'd like to call probation, please.
All right.
Okay.
All right, have you conferred with probation before calling them?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Probation, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Bashan Abrams.
All right, defense.
Ms. Abrams, have you had an opportunity to review Mr. Streeter's probation history?
I have.
And has Mr. Streeter complied with all of his conditions of deferred adjudication?
He has.
Was he placed on probation in May, deferred adjudication, May of 2021 for 6 years?
Yes.
Does the probation department have a recommendation as to whether his deferred adjudication should be terminated?
At this point, they are recommending early termination.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, state.
No questions.
All right. I just have a few if there are no objections.
No, of course not.
Has there been any previous violations?
No, Judge.
All right. Any concerns?
No, Judge. He has no violations, no positive UAs. He's current on all of his fees. He's been cordial on all of his visits with his officer. He reports on time. The officer has no concerns at this time.
All right, thank you. Any further witnesses?
No, ma'am, we rest.
State, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'd like to call the defendant if there are no objections.
No, ma'am.
Sure. State it.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, what have you learned from being on probation?
Well, the severity of my actions resulted in the injury of a close friend of mine. Additionally, it damaged my relationship with members of my family and my community as well. The actions that I undertook were as a result of substance use as well, which was affecting my judgment. And every moment since then, I have taken that into consideration in my day. And my commitment, regardless of my circumstance, is and remains to conduct myself with integrity with regards to my personal choices and to avoid substances and discipline, as well as gratitude.
All right. And what classes were you required to take?
As part of my probationary agreements, I was placed on the UA hotline, and I had completed that, and then I was sent to test. I believe it was monthly. Um, That's the most recent thing I can remember.
All right. Any other questions?
Not from the defense.
Up on the state, Your Honor.
All right. Probation, and I forgot to ask this, part of his conditions was restitution. Was there any restitution amount that was owed?
Did you pay me? The defendant was never informed of any restitution.
Okay.
Please let me know if I miss.
No.
Hey, it happens. All right, so no restitution is owed? All right, if there are no further witnesses from each court, will hear argument. Defense?
Thank you, Judge. The defendant has been on deferred adjudication for a little over 4 years. I'm sorry, almost 4 years. And I think he's been a very responsible probationer in satisfying all of the conditions of his probation.
All right, everyone, if you could please whisper.
I think that he's been a good model probationer. Given his youth and his comments just recently to the court, it appears that he has learned that the behavior he was involved in that led to this offense is not acceptable and can lead to severe consequences. And he has in fact changed his outlook on his personal behavior. Deferred adjudication is designed to have this kind of impact that if someone,
I'm sorry, just one moment. Check. All right, I'm sorry. You may continue.
Thank you, Judge. So deferred adjudication is a process by which a probationer who does act appropriately, have no violations, and completes all their conditions to give them the benefit of early termination. And I believe that Mr. Streeter is a good representative of a person who should be granted an early termination.
All right, State, you are opposed. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, we're opposed to the fact that aggravated assault charge.
Okay. Just give me one moment, everyone. All right, thank you. Yes. Oh, this, okay, all right. Okay. Is the 226 not available?
No.
Are they in a bench trial, jury trial?
Bench.
Okay.
They've come to the best.
Oh, look at you. Thank you. Look at you making my day. Telling me to push harder, Bashan. That's all that's like. Push harder. We need you. All right.
It's a girl thing.
Let me just review something very quickly. Any objection to the court reviewing the stipulations?
Absolutely not.
All right. So State, have you had a chance to contact the complainants in this matter?
Good night.
All right, so this is what I'll do. I mean, he's completed everything and he's been on probation since 2021.
21.
And his deferred adjudication was for a total of 6 years. So we're already in 2025. The court will grant the motion, but the motion will not become effective until February 11th. State, will that give you enough time to reach out to the complainants? And are you on any type of GPS?
GPS, like an ankle tracker?
Yes.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll grant your motion on February 11th. And that will give the state time to reach out to the complainants. I will tell you that part of my conditions for you on probation, and this was requested, I think, by the complainant as well, that there was to be no contact with Mr. Kloss, but no harm for injurious contact with Ms. Streeter. So the no contact with Mr. Kloss, you should probably still abide by that. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
This reckless teen asserting that he was under duress when the event took place, so the judge conducted an in-depth questioning to understand the circumstances.
They're saying that the vehicle was stolen. Were you aware of that?
No, ma'am.
Let's say you're not aware the vehicle is stolen. So they get behind you, they have their sirens on, they're trying to pull you over. Why didn't you pull over?
Because when I was trying to pull over, the passenger, which is I thought that was my friend, had threatened me with a
Oh, so you're saying you were under duress. So here's my other question then. So you're 17, you're in the vehicle with a 12-year-old juvenile in the back seat. Why were you with a 12-year-old who wasn't in school?
I'm not too sure, but she's told me that she didn't have nothing to do with school.
A 12-year-old has nothing to, isn't that
Yeah,
sixth grade?
I guess she dropped out. Not too sure.
All right,
But
so
she-
why are you hanging out with a 12-year-old and you were 17 at this time? And I'm just saying, usually 17-year-olds don't want to hang out with 12-year-olds. So you have the 12-year-old who's the backseat passenger. Who else was in the vehicle with you?
and my friend.
So your mom has a 12-year-old who should be in school and she's out joyriding with 12-year-old. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison